Hello everyone, it's Matt here and welcome to the March vlog, or the mid-March vlog I should say. It is the 17th of March at about 20 to 5 local time. So I'm just going to run through projects and updates to projects first. The big one, the warehouse one, I've done quite a bit of research and I've got a few ideas about what to change. The biggest change that I am going to make to it is actually a change in height. Now, there's a very good reason for this. The first one is that if I'm going to ballast the track, track ballasting itself adds another two plates in height just to the track, and there's a few other bits as well I need to change. So it's really just a bit of rework. So the main building itself is going to gain about 2 plates at sort of like ground level, and then that also means that the platform outside I can change around and make it a bit easier to construct actually, so it actually works in my favour to change the height as well. And all this means that I can actually change it around before I build the first one or the first module completely. There's been a few other bits as well, like how I'm actually going to do the back lighting and a roof and that sort of stuff. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you know, I have been thinking about it and got some changes, and I will be making an update on that soon. I should say, or soon. Trains. There's been quite a few bits been done to trains. I can't really show much off yet because it's not complete, and there's a few bits where it's a bit fragile and that sort of stuff. And I really want to get bits in to fix those and finish them off and do some testing. So I will say that I'll be able to show something properly off in say 2-3 weeks. When that's all finished. What I will show you now is one that's actually been shown off on Instagram, and it is pretty much complete, I will say, and it's this, and this is a 50-foot express reefer, which some of you may recognise from your Wolvers or other blue box models. This is the more complete side. If I show you the other side, you can see that the doors aren't complete. But other than that, it's pretty much a complete car. There's some bogie detailing, some underframe work to be finished. The middle step is missing as well. Then there's just a few bits of handrail on the roof, and then it's pretty much just finished except for a bit of bogie detailing. So this car is actually almost complete. I'm actually going to do a brown one as well at some point, but I'm going to have a break. This one's been quite a hard one to do. The one issue I do have with this car is the length. And the reason for that is that I have a suspicion, a sneaky suspicion, that it should be another couple of studs longer, so it actually matches the Brick Model Railroad flat car and gondola in terms of their length. I'm not entirely too sure on that, so for the moment I'm just going to leave it as is and finish it off in its current state. But then have a look into it after that and sort of see what's going on. So you can sort of see there's been quite a few changes. There's the steps there, and then it's got pretty much full underframe detailing. You can't actually see it because there'd be you wouldn't have just bricks there. You'd actually have sort of like an outer line there and an inner line there, and you'd have the brake rigging in the middle. You can't really represent that with Lego, but never mind. You got the brake rigging for or actuating links for the bogie brakes, and you've also got two. So at this end, you can't really see, but you can see one there and one there, and they actually go to, one of them will be the bogie, and the other one will actually be for the brake wheel. So I've been quite in depth with actually detailing that car. It's one I'm quite proud of. It's actually a reverse engineered KR Leap Heart model for the sort of like for the dimensions and certain stuff like that. But then I've gone and updated it and changed it to reflect the more accurate reefer that you might find in a Walrus catalogue, for example. And that's been quite a hefty amount of parts that have gone into that. There's a few of the bits, some of which a few selected A files have seen progress on. And some of which I've actually shown off a little bit maybe on Instagram, but not much. One thing that I haven't really shown off on Instagram, but I've been working on, is ballasting my Bricktracks R104. This is just 3 track sections, so you can see one there, a second one from there to there, and a third one from there to there, and there's 8 in a box. and I've actually got 12 in progress. And you know, it's a bit different to Lego Track, not to mention the radius obviously, but the stop of the studs is slightly different. Grip is quite good, I will say. I was quite, you know, I've heard good stories about Bricktracks, but these really are good quality ones. The pieces adhere to them reasonably well. There are a few occasional bits where they're not quite tight, and possibly prone to a bit of movement and popping off. But on the whole, it's a very good piece of kit. I've currently got 12 on in progress or complete. I've got this section here of 3. I've got another section of 3 which is done. There's another section of 3 which is just missing some 1x2, 1x1 tiles, I should say, for sleepers at the one end, and then the rest one is the most work in progress one. I'm actually waiting on some door rails. This method of ballasting was actually shown off by Tony Sava, I believe it is. So I just copied it, slightly changed it for the outer end. So the outer end is just, you know, a 2x4 plate and a 1x2 plate, and the tile for that bit, instead of being a 2x4 plate, 2 1x1 plates, and the tile and what have you. And if you're wondering why this extends above here, this is so that you can actually connect another one in. You pop this off, or so pop this off, connect the other one up, and then you actually get this. So this actually helps secure the two in place. And I don't really think there's an easy one to show you. You can possibly see just there where my finger is, there's actually a join in the track just there. And you know, that's how it connects together. So it's very much in fitting with the Lego system. It's a really nice bit expensive, I will say. I had to pay quite a lot of import duties, but they are moulded rather than 3D printed, so they're a lot smoother in finish and finer in finish and fixture as well. So it makes a nice change, and I can certainly tell the difference between this sort of aftermarket moulded track compared to, say, the Bricktracks, the 4D bricks 3D printed turnouts I got either early last year or tail end of the year before. So I can sort of see the difference between that and the others. And there's actually a bag of 1x4 tiles here. So I've run out of 1x1 tiles, but I've still got plenty of the 1x4s to get ballasting with. So, you know, there's always stuff to be done. I've put quite a lot of orders on for Bricklink, and in actual fact I've done one for Lego as well, mostly for Brick and for wheels, because as usual, Lego is the one place you can actually get a load of train wheels for a reasonable price, from just one seller instead of multiple. And I think there's about 96 on order or something ridiculous like that. It's enough to do 12 freight cars, so that should be enough to finish whatever I have planned for the moment, and then there's a bit extra, so who knows. So there's been quite a few Bricklink orders. Most of them have been Europe based. I've found out some quite good stuff, and I think there's one order, and I've sort of put everything on and sent for invoice. So I'm waiting for the invoice back off that. There's one I've paid, which is waiting to be shipped. I do have an order which, unfortunately, I've had to file a non-shipping seller alert for, and it seems to be happening quite a lot with this seller. So whether there's been something personal, I'm not sure. But, you know, there's been no change since the 2nd of March when I was invoiced, and I paid the invoice on the same day. So I'm just a bit sort of like, well, it's now 15 days after that. Why is there no change? You know. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. So he has 2 weeks to respond about that. If there's no response within the 2 weeks, Bricklink will offer me the option to cancel the order, which I will do, because I've got most of that order via other orders because he was taking so long. So, and I filed a non-shipping claim with PayPal as well, so he hasn't, fulfilled the order. So it's all a bit sort of like, well, I'm waiting for him to do something. So, moving on to goals review. I've got the order wrong in my list. Goals review. The Ager oil electric box cab, which is actually just here, just at a shot in the corner of the shelf here. I've actually got the parts needed to finish that off, with the exception of 1x2 black plates, which are on order with Bricklink seller. So once the 1x2 plates arrive, I can actually take that off the shelf, strip it down a bit, swap out the incorrectly coloured parts, maybe do a bit of adjustment, change the mechanism around slightly because I've made a slight screw up on the chain orientation compared to what I copied the design from Just in Tan, and there's a few of the bits and pieces that need to be changed. Other than that, it's pretty much good, and then I'll have to start looking into decals and that sort of stuff, and getting the battery recharged as well, because it hasn't, I don't think I've ever charged the battery that's actually inside that model, so it'll be a good test for that. The warehouse I've spoken about before. The warehouse is actually going reasonably well, so that's just a case of time and ordering some more 1x1 plates really. I've got some, but you know, always more parts required. Gaming's complete, so I'm going to go do some bit more gaming and that sort of stuff, which I'll come on to in a little bit. So moving on to the last Lego aspect of the vlog update, and that is events. I've not actually been to anything Lego related this year, with the exception of the Discovery Centre. I've been to the Discovery Centre earlier this year, I think. I think sort of like February-ish, sort of half-termy sort of time, which was about a month ago, maybe a bit more. And I was able to do a few bits and pieces, and I've not really done anything. I haven't even gone to any lug meets, so the first one is probably going to be the North Knot show. Well, I'm not displaying, I'm just going as a visitor, but I can catch up with some people I know via Facebook, and I can show off some models, possibly even get them some screen time, if you like, or running time on a layout. So hopefully that'll be the case. Who knows, maybe I can live stream it and show them off and that sort of stuff. So who knows. So I've got to investigate travel and hotel arrangements for that, because it's the travel for that is actually going from Birmingham to into Sheffield, then back out again. So I've got to find somewhere to bunk out for Friday night, realistically, before going to the show Saturday. Moving on to gaming and computer stuff, because I do have a little bit for the last. The Division 2, I actually ordered the Gold Edition. I didn't order the Ultimate Edition because I didn't see the value in spending an extra £20 or so for just some cosmetics, effectively. So I've got that. I'm doing quite well on it. I'm already up to level 12 or 13, I think. And I've been doing quite a lot of the side missions and patrols and that sort of stuff, so I've been getting quite good at that. I will be doing a short overview video comparing it to the Division 1 and some of the aspects, but I will say it's far improved from the Division 1. Not just in gameplay, but in aspects you wouldn't really consider. So that's something I think a few people will be surprised about. The last aspect of the vlog, and the last item I want to pick up on, is AMD and their release schedule, because there's been some utterings and some store listings and some various other bits and pieces which suggest that we're going to be getting Ryzen 3 as a mid-year release, and then Navi, which will be the new graphics card offering, will be a month to 2 months after that. So who knows, by August sort of time, I might actually have Ryzen 3 in my case, along with a new motherboard, possibly new memory, and possibly a water cooler as well, because I do really want to go for an all-in-one solution for the CPU, just to get a little bit more effort and performance out of it. Navi, I'm not so sure about, because I've already got a Vega 56. That seems to be holding up quite well. I do want to get an upgrade at some point, because the Vega 56 is alright, but I feel it's slightly underpowered for what I really want it for. And obviously, getting something a bit better, if I do any renderings and stuff like that, it will work a bit better and that sort of stuff. So it's just a bit of an incremental increase in reality, but it just means everything's a bit more smoother and a bit more future-proofed, as much as I can be. So that's it for the March vlog, and there's stuff to do, and I've got stuff to work on. So there's going to be some videos coming up soon, and hopefully sooner rather than later. So that's all for now, and bye.